It's Rick and Patty from the KORD Morning Show. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it.
And, of course, you can always catch us anywhere and everywhere with our KORD mobile app. It's free for you in the App Store as well in Google Play.
Bradley Gilbert bottoms up, number one for New Country, 102.7 KORD. Got Rick, you got Patty. Well, happy Monday. Welcome to it. 6:11 right now, 55 degrees. Man, I know it's still summertime, but we're getting
There's
close.
a crispness in the air.
Yeah, it feels like, okay, so fall's around the corner. You can feel it. The daylight is coming later, because before we'd come and it'd be daylight already. And
it's still dark. And can I just say, that blue bridge is kind of creepy.
But it is when it's dark.
Yeah.
When it's dark like that, it is kind of, when it's dark like that, coming across that, even in the middle of the day.
It's exciting, though. We're going to have a new blue bridge.
It's about time. I mean, it was so funny for months and months. We're like, what are these guys doing? Because whenever you drive by the work crew, no offense, work crew, it looks like you're just sitting there having coffee and donuts, right? Well, no, they put this big giant thing up. And it's pretty amazing when you see it. Because like, how did they get it up there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I will say there was one day, though, when I was driving and they were on top. And I was like, oh, my gosh.
They were way up. So you saw them.
Of course I did.
Way up there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You didn't?
No, I always saw them on the side of the road having a coffee break. But I know they worked. I'm kidding. I know they worked. But but again, I'm going across the Blue Bridge at 60 miles an hour. So if I look over and, they could be working. And
they're getting it done, man.
They're getting it done. So very cool. All right. It is, if you didn't know it, it's National Dog Day. We'll talk about that on the way. Facebook fun. Also, Nashville news coming up, other people's problems, and tickets to the Walla Walla PRCA Rodeo. We'll do those for you at 7:20 this morning. So
I heard we might have some Martina. Martina McBride is performing on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It's going to be such a great show.
We might have some more tickets.
All right. So your chance to win at 7:20 on the way. Let's get your day started. Happy Monday. Grab a cup of coffee. Dig in. Let's get going. 102.7 KORD.
You're listening to Rick and Patty in the morning on number one for New Country, 102.7 KORD.
New Country, it's 102.7 KORD. 624, you got Rick, you got Patty. Always good to be with you. Happy Monday. Welcome to it. 55 degrees, clear skies. So over the weekend, or at least over the last couple weeks, Patty, it has been the NFL preseason. Seahawks doing very well. If you were watching the Seahawks yesterday, they got a win. They're doing great in preseason. Now, of course, the preseason games don't count, but it is, you get to see the second or third stringers out there, everybody vying for a spot on the team.
Are they going to be on fire this year? That's all I need to know.
I think they will be. And it was fun to watch. Yesterday was a good Denver Broncos game. So when I was a little kid growing up here in Washington, where I lived out in the Bogans Oasis near Grand Run River, you could pick the Broncos as your team as well. You just didn't have to pick the Seahawks. I am from Washington, but it's so funny is you're right on the Idaho border.
Yeah.
So it's like so people didn't just automatically pick Seahawks. And when I was a kid, the Seahawks were a brand new franchise.
Yeah.
So they're fairly new. So people love the Broncos as well. So I kind of
became a Broncos fan.
I have an affinity for the Broncos just because I was right on the border of Idaho and Washington growing up. So Facebook fun for you today. Here you go. Who would you book for the Super Bowl halftime show? I know everybody always complains about the halftime show because they can't seem to get it right. So you were just talking about Post Malone.
I feel like this is going to be Post Malone's year. He's singing with every country. I mean, every star.
And that's what you do for the Super Bowl halftime
yeah.
is it's Post Malone, right? But then you bring out.
You never know who's coming out.
Right. You bring out.
Is that Blake Shelton?
Yes.
Is that Dolly?
Yes. You bring them all out. I think that would be. I think Post Malone would be awesome. I always think about. I know before they retire, the Rolling Stones, because it's not. I don't know how much more time we're going to get the Rolling Stones.
I finally got to see them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in their 80s, and they freaking rock.
So that's a good...
That
would be a good one.
We all had our phones out.
Who else could you think of that would be a great halftime?
U2.
Oh, U2 would be fantastic.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, so there's Taylor Swift. Oh, I know everybody wants... Taylor. Everybody would want Taylor.
Oh, my gosh.
If she could do it, they'd want her.
They'd want her. Freaking fantastic.
Absolutely.
Oh, my word.
So there you go. Who would you book for the Super Bowl halftime show? I know it's early, but NFL is kicking off next week, so into the regular season.
I like thinking about it. I'm going Post Malone, man.
And it won't. And again, it's not usually long before they announce who it's going to be. Who were you just thinking of?
Lainey Wilson.
Oh, Lainey Wilson would be great, too. So we're curious there. That's the Facebook fun. Who would you book for the Super Bowl halftime show? Luke Bryan. The list goes on and on. We want to know. You got Rick and Patty.
We love to hear from you. and it's easier than ever to reach out. Just open up the Cord mobile app and send us an app chat message, or you can contact us the old-fashioned way at 509-547-KORD. Number one for New Country, 1027 KORD.
Raised on country, number one for New Country, 1027 KORD at 638. You got Rick, you got Patty. What's going on in Nashville?
All right, new music from Jelly Roll. It's coming our way. He announced Friday that his upcoming 10th studio album, Beautifully Broken, comes out October 11th. Just so you know, Jelly Roll's debut country album last year reached number 3 on the Billboard 200, and his single Get By was recently selected by ESPN as the anthem for the 2024 college football season. Jelly is set to kick off his nationwide Beautifully Broken tour in Salt Lake City. That happens August 27th. Meanwhile, Lainey Wilson is out with her 5th studio album, Whirlwind. That dropped globally on August 23rd. The album features 14 tracks, all co-written by Lainey. She calls it the most cathartic, that is, and personal piece of art she has ever made. A signed black and white vinyl was also made available to fan club members. Season 26 of The Voice premieres in 1 month on NBC. The season will feature some big changes with first-time coaches Snoop Dogg and Michael Bublé. They're going to be joined by Reba McEntire and Gwen Stefani. NBC The Voice refers to the judges as the Dream Team. The season launches on September 23rd. Thomas Rhett talking about his new album about a woman. He talks about how special it makes him feel when fans sing his songs.
When you write songs, some songs just stem out of thin air, you know, and I think writing a song is literally a miracle, that it actually happens. And so you record it, you put it on a record, and you kind of just let the world have it. And then when you walk up stage, it's like it's the full culmination of writing the song. Watching someone sing something back to you is probably the most special moment, I think, of being an artist. Getting to watch someone's face light up when those first notes come on, and you know that you're rocking with that person.
And he is quite the songwriter and quite the artist, Thomas Rhett. Those are your trending headlines.
You're waking up with the Cord Morning Show, number one for New Country, 1027 KORD.
Take a little ride, 651, number one for New Country, 1027 KORD. You got Rick, you got Patty. Always good to be with you. Happy Monday. Welcome to it. 55 degrees and some sunshine for you right now as you get up and get going.
Did you ever think you'd be going 55? I mean, that's insane.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be the mid 70s, high 70s, I guess.
This is my kind of weather, baby. My kind of weather.
Well, it's I noticed that on my commute in this morning when it wasn't, bright. It was like, oh, it's dark. I'm like, okay, times are changing, getting closer to fall, even though it's still summer. A little spurt of summer left. But yeah, school starting for a lot of kids on Wednesday. So it's back to school. And I'm loving my Facebook feed, all the kids going back to school already.
Yeah.
Because if you have friends all across country.
School clothes.
Yep. So they got their new clothes. They got the photos going on, and absolutely just enjoying that. Anywhere, everywhere on your station mobile app. Lots to download, lots to see there. Lots of great content for you that's posted up there. Do you realize that you could really save on a fitness card? SeizeTheDeal.com. It's our 2024 Tri-Cities fitness card. So many great things. A lot of people talk about CrossFit or yoga or results-based coaching. Star Cycle's the new hot thing, Patty.
This is everything. This is everything all rolled into one.
You can get it, too. I love it. It's a $400 value for $99 right now at SeizeTheDeal.com, Patty.
Absolutely. Like you said, CrossFit, you've got Trinity Hot Yoga. I've never done hot yoga.
I have not either.
That looks kind of interesting. Results-based coaching. Star Cycle in Kennewick, that's all about spinning and rock shop climbing.
Yeah, it's all up there posted for you right now. SeizeTheDeal.com. We want to save you a bunch of money as we go into fall here. Your chance to save a lot of money. And as the school year kicks off, Mom or Dad needs to treat themselves to this gift card. Why not? Absolutely. It's a $400 value, $99 right now. Get fit right there with our fitness card posted for you now at SeizeTheDeal.com.
Starting your day the right way with the Cord Morning Show, number one for New Country, 1027 KORD.
Country 1027 KORD, 55 degrees. You got Rick, you got Patty. Probably one of the most unusual situations we got going on in other people's problems. I don't think I've come across this before, and we'll try to solve this with Shayla in Moses Lake this morning.
My husband's first language is Spanish, although he's lived in the United States his entire life. His parents always spoke Spanish at home, so that's all he spoke until kindergarten. At the beginning of our relationship, I tried to learn Spanish, but my husband was very impatient with my progress. He was harsh with his critiques, and it got to the point that I just stopped trying to learn. Now we've got 3 kids all over the age of 4, and he's worked with them nonstop. They're all fluent in Spanish, and they have great conversations without me. Recently, my husband created a rule that nothing but Spanish is allowed in our house. Now I feel like a foreigner in my own home. I know enough Spanish to know that sometimes they're talking about me, but I don't know what they're saying. So I made a rule. I told my kids they could only speak English when I was around. Didn't take long to realize how challenging this demand was for them. I can tell you that they're now afraid to talk at all. I know this is tough for them, and I don't know what to do. I wish everyone would speak English when I'm around. They can talk Spanish all they want when I'm not. Is this too much to ask? How big of a fight do I make this? Shayla
What?
and Moses.
I think it should actually. I think it's a big fight because how inconsiderate your husband is. Number one, it's like as I always joke to everybody, I barely speak English as it is. So for me, a foreign language, I had Spanish in junior high, big F. Had German, big F. I don't have the aptitude. I mean, I've tried, especially.
I wish I knew Spanish.
Yeah.
I do not.
I
know how to count to 10.
Right, I've seen people speak it fluently, and good for them. I just don't have. There are things I don't have a skill level for, and that's going to be one of them. I already struggle with English, so for me, a foreign language it truly is foreign to me. I think in this particular situation is. It's awesome that you have a dual speaking, language home. But to make little rules about, well, you can only speak Spanish. I mean, what is this? High school? Is this junior high? What is this? I think it's very inconsiderate of your husband to say that the kids can only speak, Spanish in the house. You kind of hear that. You hear that stupid rule in Spanish class. Like in high school.
Oh, so you can only speak Spanish in the class?
That was one of the reasons why, for me, I heard horror stories like that when I was in high school. And I'm like, okay, I know I was going to struggle with Spanish, so I don't have a desire to go into a classroom where a teacher says, when you're in my classroom, you only speak. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, no, not going to happen. And so guess what I didn't take as an elective? I'm like, never in a million years, because you hear these horror stories of when you make a rule of like you're never. Guess what I do I'm never going near you. You know what I'm saying? I just have no desire. So what do you think? What would you do in this situation?
It's weird. I don't want any turmoil in the home. But I mean, why can't you speak both?
I recall, interesting enough, my son, when we lived in Yakima, and I have changed my tune on this.
What?
But I remember when we were in the Yakima School District, my son was in kindergarten and first grade for a short period. I remember that the teacher said the class was bilingual,
Yeah.
And so I remember as a parent being offended, well, I want my kid to learn English. You know what I'm saying? Now, looking back, he can learn Spanish at the same time. But I was like, hey, my kid's going to learn English because that's what we speak at home for us.
I get it. But I know a lot of Hispanic parents who don't speak English.
Right, there is.
I have a lot of friends who are teachers, and the kids are like the translators.
Absolutely, I see that a lot. Again, it's great if you can speak dual language. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I wish I could.
Yeah, nothing but accolades there. But I also think you can't force people one way or the other. Does that make sense?
No.
And especially in your household, it's your household.
I know.
I would love.
I don't want my kids talking about me.
Oh, I would love to have my spouse tell me what I am and not going to do in my own house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like that's where the foot comes down. Yeah, you can do that in school and say, okay, my kid's only going to do blah 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 in school. Gotcha. But at home, it is your house, Shayla. You do have a say. You do have a say. I think that where it starts is to sit down with your husband and saying, you snapping back like a rubber band. Snapping back like, okay,
You're speaking English in this household.
No, you can speak both.
I agree.
You can speak both.
Yeah.
But
don't talk about me.
Well, stupid rules. I mean, it's like when you make rules, this is where the trouble comes. So what do you guys think? 547 KORD, app chat us what you would do in this situation. We're curious. and we want to know. I think you sit the husband down and say, that's not how it's going to be, man. I
don't know.
I think you allow both. I think it's, again, I admire people who can do both languages.
I know.
Absolutely. So what do you guys think? Let us know. App chat us. It's other people's problems. You got Rick and Patty, KORD.
Starting your day the right way with the Cord Morning Show, number one for New Country, 1027 KORD.
Rick, you got Patty. Happy Monday. Right now, 55 degrees. Guess what Patty found over on her side of the room? What'd you find, Patty?
Jelly Roll concert tickets.
Jelly Roll. We've got more Jelly Rolls for this Saturday right there in Seattle. We want to send you there, don't we, Patty?
Absolutely. Can we take caller number 7?
All right, 547 KORD 547-5673. You want to see Jelly Roll this Saturday in Seattle? Patty found some more tickets, and Jelly Roll tickets are up next. Good luck, caller 7. It's 1027 KORD.
The Cord Morning Show with Rick and Patty. Back with more next on number one for New Country, 1027 KORD.
Lee Zimmerman, where it ends. Number one for New Country, 1027 KORD, 737. You got Rick, you got Patty. So today, a couple things going on for you. Today is National Dog Day. It's National Toilet Paper Day. And also, school's getting ready to start this week. So right here in the Tri-Cities, I know Pasco, thanks for Lori calling in. Pasco
She
is
set
tomorrow.
us straight.
And I think Kennewick is Wednesday. Don't quote me. I don't have...
Yeah, we don't have kids in the
My kids are done.
in the rodeo anymore.
I
so.
know. My kids are done. Normally I kept track of all this, but my kids are all adults now. So I kind of sort of miss some of that.
I
Kind of sort of miss it a
right?
little
I
bit.
mean, don't you, like, for us, a big day... I'll be
It was
honest.
a big deal.
It was really the only time my mom ever made breakfast.
Was the
for
first
us
day-
kids.
for the
And
first
she
day-
didn't even make breakfast. It was cereal. You know what I mean? You kids are on your own.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, as school gets ready to start, when you were younger, did you ditch school? Have you ever
I did once. I'll never do it again. I
Same
did the
here.
senior skip day.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
So in your day, what you got in trouble for it, right?
I did, yeah.
See, in our day,
It's not a.
so in my
It was not recognized as a.
Oh, in my day, it was recognized.
Nope.
They knew you were going to do it, so they sat down with the student council and said, "Okay, what day is it? Good, okay." No, I know, funny, but it's the truth. So yeah, so people did it on. Now I only, just like you, I only skipped school. It wasn't senior skip day, but I was supposed to go to church camp, and my buddy and I were like, we had our permission slips, right? And we got out of school early on Friday. Well, I
You
just
go to church camp?
Well, yeah, because we were so we just shifted the hours. So we were supposed to get out
I
at
see.
2 o'clock or something
Yeah.
like that, an hour early. Well, we made it like 12 or something,
Yeah,
right?
I did that once too.
Yeah,
I got in trouble.
Oh yeah, my buddy and I. So we did that, and then we started walking the streets, and out of nowhere, my adopted parents drive up on us, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh,
What's Rick doing walking down
Yep.
on Main Street?"
Yep, absolutely. So both of us, we both got in trouble, and
Wow.
I wasn't allowed to go to church camp that weekend. That was it. But
my gosh.
just shows you how much I mean, really,
Rick
on
got banned from church
I
camp.
know. It makes me
Wow,
laugh.
you rebel, you.
I was
Holy
like,
buckets.
I know. I was like, woo. But I mean, that was, and it was the only time. And I'm like you, Patty. Figures. The only time I try to.
The only time
yeah,
I try to
yeah.
do anything
Right.
that's
Yeah.
remotely cool. Not saying that it is, but I thought it was.
Well, I mean, because
Backfired on
you
me.
felt like you were doing something dangerous. Huh? You're like, oh, so who's going to catch me, right? Well, people do get caught. So I don't know if things changed that much about skipping school. So we're going to take some calls. 547 KORD. Did you ditch school in favor of a wild adventure? What did you do? And did you get caught? We got caught. I got caught.
How come now it would have went great if Melanie Botts was behind it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right? It would have been flawless.
Absolutely, because she's a criminal. I mean,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, of course.
She'll come pulling up in her car, in her Pinto.
Exactly.
What was she driving? A Monte Carlo?
I think it was a Monte Carlo.
Was
yeah,
it?
yeah, like a Valère or something like that. Yeah, a Plymouth Valère or something like that.
Oh, a Valari, you mean?
Valari,
I
that's
had-
it. Thank you,
that's a
Valari.
Plymouth Valari.
Valari, there you go. That's what it was. Yeah, you don't see those anymore.
That was
but-
like 1977, 78,
yeah,
79,
absolutely,
around there.
Absolutely.
Here comes Melanie.
That's right. Smoking a cig at, like, get in.
6.
Get in.
Get in, Rick.
Get in, Rick.
Let's go.
We're going to cause
We're
some
going
problems.
joyriding.
Exactly. So take some calls, 547-KORD. Did it ever happen to you? We want to know. You got Rick and Patty.
You're listening to Rick and Patty in the morning on number one for New Country, 1027 KORD.
Fine. School's starting here around the Tri-Cities here over the next couple days, and skipping school. Boy, we have stories of that. I've only once for you, once for me. That's it. And we got caught. So definitely not a room full.
Can't even do that right.
Definitely not a room full of criminals here.
Nope.
But we've been taking your calls because you guys have better stories than we do. 547-KORD. So apparently you got busted watching movies. What happened?
We actually saw, maybe it was one, maybe saw two movies.
Okay.
And then when all that was done, we went over to, and I can't recall the name of the restaurant at the time. Well, we went to a restaurant. It's like maybe 2:05 in the afternoon, and the guy at the restaurant called our school. That's how big of a jerk he was.
Yeah.
And we all got in trouble for it. The one place we didn't think we'd get in trouble, we got in trouble.
Yeah.
He stepped away after he took our order, and the next thing we saw was a police officer show up and say, I'm going to mark you boys truant if you don't go to school. So the school actually gave us all 3 days in school suspension.
So, yeah.
Get back to class.
Lori, I already know you're back to school, but truant officer. So when we were kids, there was a truant officer, or there could be, right? And the actual police would get called if you were out skipping school.
Yeah.
And especially in my small town of Clarkston, Washington. Is it that way today? Do people even look bat an eye? Do they even look around and go, why is this kid out of school? I don't think they do.
So.
Back in the day, your neighbor was like, hey, I saw little Jimmy.
I saw Noah.
Yes.
Skipping school again.
Skipping school, right, exactly. And they would call you, and they would bust you.
He's got a lateness issue.
Yeah. So, Lori, if you get a chance, I don't know if you're school yet, but is there a
truant officer?
Is there a truant
Okay.
officer?
An officer assigned to each school.
Yeah, that'd be great to know if there's a truant officer here in the Tri-Cities. You know, Pasco has one, and I mean, is it an idle threat? Back in the day, you were scared of the truant officer. Back in the day,
I don't know. This is such a. I mean, it's a different time, and yet we're not. I mean, like. Do you even get parking tickets here? I mean, if you're downtown,
I guess.
There,
I mean, you don't hear
No.
it. You don't hear any of that.
I don't think so.
But back in the day, living in Yakima downtown, she had a chalk. You'd come out after coming from the mall, and the meter made
really?
Your tire was chalked. Oh yeah, and
At the mall?
Anybody who lived in Yakima downtown. This is why the Yakima Mall went under, because she was such a hardcore meter maid that every 2 hours, if you were and you walk, and I moved there, and I went, why is there chalk on my tire? Because the meter maid was coming by chalking tires. Yeah, absolutely. So
Are you kidding?
Well, it's because it's my one job only.
In
and
Yakima, Washington?
And I'll be danged if I'm going to let you get away with, a minute over. And she'd write the ticket, man. She'd write the ticket. So do we have truant officers like that? We want to know. 547-KORD. More of your calls on the way. You got Rick and Patty.
We love to hear from you, and it's easier than ever to reach out. Just open up the Cord mobile app and send us an app chat message, or you can contact us the old-fashioned way at 509-547-KORD. Number one for New Country, 1027 KORD.
It's car. It is 812, number one for New Country, 1027 KORD. Well, we have got tickets for the PRCA Rodeo, Walla Walla County Fairgrounds this coming Friday. Right, Patty?
We have a lot of tickets, and if you want to go, like I said, we've got quite a few tickets for this Friday's PRCA Rodeo at the Walla Walla Fairgrounds.
So 547-KORD, 547-KORD. If you want to go, it's first come, first serve. How about that? Make it the easiest contest in radio history. You just call in, and while supplies last, you win. How about that?
Yeah, we got 5 pairs of tickets. Let's blow them out.
All right, next 5 people, 547-KORD, 547-KORD. These tickets are yours. Good luck.
You're waking up with the Cord Morning Show, number one for New Country, 1027 KORD.
New Country 1027 KORD, 56 degrees. You got Rick, you got Patty. Always good to be with you. Happy Monday, and a big round of applause for a lot of winners that were sending off to the Walla Walla PRCA Rodeo this
Everybody's going. McKenna, Russ, Abril, Krista, and even Kim.
weekend. All right. Great job on that, guys. Great job. Thanks for listening to KORD this morning.
And guess what? We got more tickets tomorrow.
More tickets tomorrow morning. Your chance to win right there with KORD. All right, Shayla's got a situation going on. Other people's problems. What's going on with Shayla here?
So, well, her husband's first language is Spanish, and he's always spoke Spanish at home, and that's all he spoke until kindergarten. So at the beginning of our relationship, I tried to learn Spanish, but my husband was very impatient with my progress, just harsh with his critiques. So it got to the point I just stopped trying. Well, now my husband has created a rule in the house, nothing but Spanish.
Oh.
And I feel like a foreigner in my own home. I know enough to get by, but I know that my kids are talking about me. I told my kids they could only speak English now when I'm around. Well, it didn't long to realize how challenging this demand is for them. I can tell that they're now just afraid to talk at all. I know it's tough for them. I don't know what to do. I wish everyone would just speak English when I'm around. They could talk Spanish all they want when I'm not. Is it too much to ask, though? How big of a fight should I make this?
Wow, a lot of people are already commenting on Facebook. How do you solve something like this, Patty? What are people saying here?
Right from the top, Tia says, neither of you should be making any rules without first discussing it with your partner, because it's not fair that your kids feel like they're being put in the middle. Your kids aren't talking because they're obviously afraid of disappointing both of you and going against the other's rules, and that's not fair for them. Have a sit-down conversation with your husband and come to a mutual agreement, and then take that agreement to the children together.
Diane says, use Rosetta Stone or some other app to help learn conversational Spanish. It's unfortunate your husband treats you this way. Seems like a form of abuse to control you, especially if he's pitting the children against you. And that's from Diane.
Yvette says, seek family counseling about this rule stuff. There's a lot to unpack there, but use Duolingo or ask someone to teach you Spanish.
Yeah, Joni says, learn to speak Spanish on your own. Stop making rules about how people talk. Be considerate of each other. And that's from Joni.
Did you check out Barbie? Why'd you get married?
Yeah.
This is sad the adults make their children's life HE double hockey sticks. Sad that your husband makes your life HE double hockey sticks too. Power trips should not be part of a marriage.
I don't get that one. I just never.
I
I've never understood that, and I'm sorry. I've talked about this a lot. My wonderful foster mom was an incredibly strong woman.
Pearl.
So yeah. So I like strong women. I have never wanted to be in a subservient relationship to where, you know what I'm saying? Marriage is teamwork. It's a
50-50.
It's a partnership. Yeah.
And I don't want your kids to feel afraid.
Yeah. But
that's kind of
but
scary.
kids do. Especially if you have if one of the parental folks is a strong, overbearing, and everybody's terrified. Why would you ever want to be in a relationship where you have to walk on eggs? I won't do it.
No,
I won't do it. I'm like, nope, sorry.
But usually, isn't one person in the house a disciplinarian more than the other?
I would say that. I think that again. I always think it's a fine balance. You know, I mean, hey, trust me, Pearl spanked my butt. Trust me, I got my butt.
Mom. Yeah, my mom was home with us kids.
But I've always said the difference was Pearl would come back 20 minutes later and go, "Here, I love you, and here's why I corrected the behavior." Whereas my adopted parents would just hit you. And there was never any reconciliation. It was just like if they felt like popping you one, they just popped you one. So there's a big difference in terms of parenting. To me, it's like, yeah, you can spank your kid. I mean, or some people say, no, you're never gonna spank my kid. Okay, but there are ways to discipline your children.
Yes.
And this particular situation seems more like a control thing.
Kind of.
I
mean,
that would be a no-go for me anyway. If you're just ever curious about that would be a no-go. Like, yeah, you can pack your bags and get on down the road. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people stay together because of the kids, but that would be a no. Yeah, I could not live with somebody like that. We did our best to solve it.
Yeah.
A lot of people said learn Spanish.
I know.
They said learn Spanish, and then you'll know what they're saying. But the rules, that's got to go out the window. So what do you guys think? 547 KORD. App chat us what you would do in this situation. We want to know. You got Rick and Patty. KORD.
Starting your day the right way with the Cord Morning Show. #1 for New Country. 1027 KORD.